Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you now something the likes of which you've never seen before. The most dangerous combination of professional sports. The skill, the strength, the stamina, and the ability of two men blended together as one. The most exciting combination in the history of professional wrestling. Twin sons of different mothers.
Chris Adams and Mike Current.
Let's Body Slam competition.
Oh no. Are the fans gonna riot? Are the fans gonna riot? I don't hear the boos. Did he take it over the show?
No. Oh, I'm sorry, I was sleeping. That's like a lullaby.
Coming in at number 4 on the show, Roman Reigns. As if we could have made it any worse, right? Did you guys see what I said earlier?
Boo? Can I please get a boo? Can I get a boo? Get a boo.
What?
I want a boo.
We can give you a boo. Hold on.
No, we're giving you a boo. That was terrible. Thank you. That was terrible. Anyway, listen to me.
I figured if he can come in number 30 in the Rumble, he can come in as number 4 on our show this week, at least,
Oh, Jesus Christ save me.
Well, there goes the last 2 listeners that we had.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
We're drawing the heel heat like WWE is right now. So what the plan is, draw the heel heat.
Yes.
When you're not even a heel, but draw.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, Roman Reigns couldn't draw flies with shit.
Did you guys see the link that I sent you earlier? I know Chuck's seen it. Mike, did you see it? Did you read it?
I don't open links from you anymore, Chris. They're dangerous. They're usually viruses or something about a fat girl dancing or something.
I'm sorry last time that you got the virus when you opened it up and it was Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh dancing around the rim of the toilet. I'm sorry. All right? It won't happen again. Just open your links and it's all good.
Listen to me. This is the funny thing is, Mike, is that he didn't check it. He just sent it.
Yeah.
He didn't look at it.
Oops.
He was just like, this looks good. I won't check it.
No, I sent this link out earlier, and I know Chuck's seen it, so we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I mean, it's not like the WWE didn't have, the ultimate plan they want to do with what they got going on right now. Apparently, we have a reason Roman Reigns goes in at number 30 in the Royal Rumble, and while everybody was too busy griping last week across the IWC community there, saying, oh my God, they did it again, they threw Roman Reigns in again, oh my God, they suck so bad, why, where's Joe, well, Samoa Joe shows up on Monday night and attacks Seth Rollins, inadvertently injures him, it looks like, and puts him out for a while. But Chuck, what's the main reason why they put Roman Reigns in at 30? I know you read it. What was it?
Yeah, to try to get mega heat going into his future feud with the Undertaker
at WrestleMania. Just like we kicked around last week when we were talking about it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is the thing that bothers me. And I understand that we're like, okay, we see that. And it was cool because now that I think about it, they were kind of setting up little feuds and storylines as they were going. However, I don't think people would be as bad or as mad with 30 if they had little Easter eggs or people come in like a Kurt Angle, like anybody new, and not just Ty Dillinger, which was fine, it was nice, but you gave 27 to Enzo. Why? He's high up.
If you remember, we did find out last week. We talked about last week. Angle was not in ring shape. He's still not able to get in the ring and have a good match.
but
Kenny Omega was a no-go because he was still with no New Japan Pro Wrestling contract.
Absolutely.
Apparently, Samoa Joe was our only question mark, and he ended up being there, was saved for Monday night, was the whole purpose behind it.
Yeah, listen, which was fine. Don't get me wrong, which was fine. But what I'm saying is, there are other. You mean to tell me there's not other superstars, even like shitty little superstars, like fucking what's his name, like Pete Rose. Like I said last week, Pete Rose. I can watch that guy get chokeslammed all day.
Yeah, Kane wasn't there. Where was Kane?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? It could be taking time off. There's another reason why they had him in there at 30 as well. It says here that's why Reigns entered the match at 30. It's being said they wanted Randy Orton's Rumble win to get the biggest possible babyface reaction that it could get.
Yeah.
Now we know Orton's not exactly a babyface right now, but what they're working their way toward, hopefully it looks like, is a meeting between him and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania or something like that. So the fact with Reigns coming out at 30, they knew people would boo the hell out of that. They'd boo it so bad. It just couldn't. This couldn't be right. It's the end of the world, end of the wrestling world for sure. Let's boo it as hard as we can. And then Randy Orton tosses him over the top rope, and all is well in the universe again. And now he's getting that big pop, bigger pop than what he might have got. We don't know. I doubt it, but still, he gets that pop at the end of winning the match and everything. Takes his poses and all that stuff. Now we're looking at a future possibility if at the Elimination Chamber, if Bray Wyatt comes out with that belt.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, here's the thing. Not Bray Wyatt. I also read something on the internet about Randy Orton saying in an interview that we need the match between him and John Cena. Like, the world doesn't know it yet, but it's something we want. And no, I'm sorry. Other than, like, any time other than WrestleMania, knock yourself out. But WrestleMania, I don't want to see those two go at it. I don't. They have great matches, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see it. I don't. I'm done with that.
Isn't that kind of like saying, that's kind of saying the talk of them talking about The Rock coming back to face Triple H at WrestleMania. We were like, no, don't do that. Don't bring him back just for Triple H. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, they got to do something now. They got to do something because Rollins is on the shelf.
But they said Rollins' injury may not be bad enough to keep him from WrestleMania itself, though. He still could be back in time for WrestleMania. It's a possibility. I don't think they're shooting for it, though.
No, could's a big word, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to press the matter. I think they got I'm sure they got a plan behind a plan, which that was the plan at first. I'm sure they got something else in mind right now to have happen instead. It may not be Triple H. It may be, it may not be the Royal. I mean, it may not be WrestleMania. It may not be Triple H. It could be Samoa Joe in there against somebody else. Samoa Joe against a Dean Ambrose, maybe. Because I don't know. Who knows?
But the thing about it is, go ahead, KJ.
I'm just saying, the thing I would be interesting, actually, which I think would be an interesting angle, is Kevin Owens and Triple H. Because he was the guy that replaced, he was the guy that replaced Seth Rollins. Now, I think that they're going to groom Kevin Owens and and Y2J match. I think that's inevitable. But for whatever reason, if that doesn't work out, I think Kevin Owens versus Triple H would not be a bad match. You got two guys who've never really gone
Did you guys see they have Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar facing off in house shows right now?
Yeah.
It's almost like they're testing. Yeah, it's almost like they're testing that to see how well it goes over with fans at house shows to see if they want to push it on TV or not, probably.
I thought they were just testing Brock's stamina again. He's got to throw around all that dead weight.
Who knows?
Well, it's a means to an end, I think. I think what they're doing actually is setting him up for winning the Universal title.
And then him and Goldberg go at it for the title?
Yes.
I hope not.
That sounds legit to me, KJ.
It does.
Because trust me, guys, there's coming the time. I just have this feeling. I have this otherworldly sense that Goldberg is going to possess that Universal title before it's all said and done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the whole talk behind their meeting at WrestleMania, though, was for Brock Lesnar to come in on top in WrestleMania, to put him over in the big event, WrestleMania. Goldberg led up.
How you gonna put him over?
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous how they've done him so far, because it looked just like whenever they brought Lesnar in and he tossed John Cena around like a sack of potatoes, that was ridiculous to John Cena, because the two had met before and it wasn't like that. It was a better match. But yet they brought him in as this big dominant force no one's ever seen, supposedly, and he just decimates John Cena. It's like they're doing the same thing with Goldberg against Lesnar now. Goldberg's back, and all of a sudden he's just pulverizing, Lesnar, beating him in under a minute. It's ridiculous how you do that. I mean, to me, that's not a build-up of a big match. That's just a couple of humor spots for me against, Brock Lesnar, if anything. It's just
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they really, as a fan, as a human being with half a brain, you couldn't imagine that Goldberg owns Lesnar in less than a minute twice, and then all of a sudden they have a match. Nah. It'll flop.
No, here's the thing. This is what and we talked about this. This is how I think it's going to go down. Could be wrong, have been wrong before, but he's going to beat Owens. That may set up, somehow, that may set up a feud between Kevin and Y2J. Now, Goldberg goes to WrestleMania, beats the champion, and then the next night, Goldberg beats him down. So.
Now say that again. It sounded like you said Goldberg beats the champion at WrestleMania, and then Goldberg shows up the next night on Raw and beats him down again.
No. What happens is this. I'll take you through. Lesnar beats KO for the title. Brock faces Goldberg at WrestleMania. Goldberg beats Brock. The next night, Brock beats him for the title. Then you never see Goldberg again.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing. Or maybe, I don't know. The reason why he decided to go into the Royal Rumble, why? He was ready to leave after he beat Brock, right? He destroyed him. The next night, what does he say? Stephanie is telling me something. She's dangling a title run. And I believe, she said, I believe that I'm going to blah, 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 blah. So, he's like, I believe I'm going to win. So that's how I think. Why would he say that? That's a lot of foreshadowing. And I don't know, maybe they're throwing me off, whatever, but I don't think a lot of people caught that. They just heard Royal Rumble. They didn't hear about and fight Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? I don't know. So
yeah, there's more talk again.
Yeah.
There's apparently more talk again. They're kicking around the idea of Roman Reigns going heel, but their discussion of putting him in heel, from what I'm reading online, is that what they're afraid of is the same thing as the John Cena going heel effect. You're going to have the audience split either way. Right now, the audience is split with Roman Reigns. They are. Of course,
what?
The guys.
No, they're not.
The guys boom a lot.
They're not split.
That's what they're portraying it. They're portraying it as the crowd being split between the men and the women, basically. The women are yelling for him. They're loving him. Okay, they say the men are.
Who cares? They can find another sex symbol. Knock it off. Listen to me. There shouldn't be split down the middle. The bottom line is the boos the boos are out. Whatever, I can't even think right now.
There's more boos than tears. You're saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ on a pogo stick. And I think that, so his sales cannot be that big. With all the people, their sales cannot be that big. That guy needs a fucking makeover. They keep throwing when he was in NXT or FPW. And remember, he was that heel? You know what I mean? He used the suit and everything and the watch. That's the guy he needs to be. The thing is, I think they're going to make him a heel like they made Shawn Michaels, quote-unquote, heel versus The Undertaker. Do you understand? That was a heel but not a heel? He was like in between heel?
Let me tell you exactly.
They're going to make him that.
Let me tell you exactly what they said, okay? This is exactly how they portrayed it in the article. They said, and once again, they claim it's split down the middle. They say you got the men boo him and the women cheer him. They say one of the biggest problems is today is that wrestling's fan base that you see in the crowd for the most part has gone from being more of kids and women to more men out there in the crowd, maybe men and their sons, coming to see the fights, quote-unquote fights, even though it's wrestling predetermined. It's the crowd base is swinging more toward that area right now than it is more than women and young girls and stuff. With that being said, I don't know.
When is the last time that women and children were the predominant viewers of wrestling?
This is just the theory they're putting on the article I read earlier, and that's what they're saying about that. They're saying if they make him a heel, they're saying it's just going to flip flop who boos and who cheers, and then they went on to say that they need to do something with him regardless, and what they need to do is the same thing that Chuck's been saying for like months now. They said the same thing he said, that they had to let him be himself, not be the character that McMahon wants him to portray. They need to let him come out there and be more of like a vicious streak in a sense, not trying to be Mr. Babyface guy and be all like, oh, you can't beat me. I'm just the guy, and all this stuff. Come out and be just a hard-hitting, vicious beast of a person taking people down. And they say he needs a new makeover, get that stupid thing off his chest, expose more of his body, because supposedly he has, a built physique they want to display out there for the people to see, and build it all off of that and get him off the current stink that he's in. That means music change, wardrobe change, attitude change, but still not make him heel.
Oh, God. Okay. I got to speak. Number one, WWE. I know you listen to me and you take my advice because it's damn good. So there's another time when you need to bend your ears, take your finger out of your ass, and listen. The John Cena effect exists. And you hear John Cena, the reaction. It's 60-40. And 60-40 is what it is. It's not half. It's 60-40, but when you hear "Let's go Cena," you hear just a little bit louder, Cena sucks. And then a not so loud, "Let's go Cena." So it's there. If Roman Reigns has a split, it's 90-10. And we as men are not booing Roman Reigns because we want him to be a heel. We're booing Roman Reigns because he sucks. And because he has all of the appeal of a wall clock with dead batteries. And I'm sorry, but the physique, all the physique in the world isn't going to help you. It didn't do much for the Warlord, so that man had a physique.
Okay,
didn't do much for Chris Masters either, really.
No, but here's the thing: excuse me. The thing about Roman Reigns, and the thing they need to do, is let him go back to that guy that's, like I said, FPW NXT, who's just a dick. And the problem is he can't wear a wife beater, which would have probably looked great on him, because Ambrose is doing that. He needs to get rid of, whatever it is, he just needs to get rid of his gear. Now, unfortunately, he has little baby wrists, so it doesn't look good. He has to wear some kind of bands around his wrists, because that's why he wears them in the first place. But he needs a new identity, and he needs it quickly. And he needs to, for him to say, clothesline Undertaker and just be like, this is my house, I'm the man, this is my house. What does that mean? He didn't do anything to Undertaker, and Undertaker didn't do anything to him. You know what I mean?
The only thing that got out of that was he eliminated him and he stared him down. That's the only thing you got from that. There was a stare down between two people who were supposed to be top dogs in the company, and you see both of them eyeballing each other, and Undertaker looking at him hard, Reigns not backing down, staring him back, and Undertaker telling him this isn't over with. Basically, he's upset he got tossed out by him of all people. The crowd is furious that he tossed him out, just like they were furious when he got rid of Daniel Bryan that year. The exact same thing happened again with it.
Well, here's the thing, is that not only did he eliminate him, he was talking trash. Roman Reigns was talking trash. Like I said, this is my house. This is my house. That's another reason.
Right.
I'm the big dog. That's heel. That's heel as fuck. Like, what exactly? The problem is they don't know how to. It's funny because they write great storyline. That's a brilliant thing what they did with the Royal Rumble match. Unfortunately, I still think they could have thrown in better Easter eggs. But I digress. Here's the thing is, but what happens is they get these wrestlers, they get them, and they have their moment. They have their moment in the sun, heel or face, and then they do nothing with it, and then they don't push it. And my thing is, right after right after Royal Rumble, you should have had Reigns do some really, at least tease some heel shit. And he hasn't. It's just, not even subtle anymore. Like, we need to see some legitimacy, because he's done the subtle for a year.
I found the demographics, by the way. The demographics we talked about a moment ago.
The demographics.
Oh, yeah. Mike's actually close.
Oh, yeah?
It's 67% male, 33% female. When it comes to the age groups, what do you think the most dominant age group that watches WWE is right now?
11.
No.
It's 18 to 34.
50 plus. 35% of their audience, of their viewing audience, is 50 plus. 21% is 35 to 49 and 2 to 17. 23% being the 18 to 34 range.
See if you can find the numbers from the Attitude Era, Chris.
I'll see if they list them anywhere. I don't know. We'll find out here shortly.
I bet you that 18 to 34 was a much bigger percentage.
Yes.
In the 90s.
Yes. Oh yeah. 1834 was like crazy. But here's the deal.
Which makes sense because 20 years from there, those 34-year-olds are how old? 54.
They'll be in the 50s right now, so that's their 50-plus crowd still coming from that era going through right now, still watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but here's the thing. As we said before, WWE is in a weird stage. It's in a weird time position, I guess. So you don't know what's happening because, like I said, they're cursing a little more. They're being a little bit more edgy, especially like the New Day. So, everybody is but they want that PG thing. It's just a very odd thing. But as far as the Undertaker, I don't want to see the Undertaker.
No.
And I'm saying it's a passing of the torch. Really? You're going to pass the torch to somebody that can't stand. And his uncle, was it Alpha or Sika, was imploring the fans, just give Roman Reigns a chance. He can do it. You're not giving him a chance. And how many chances are we going to give this kid? And it's not his fault, but how many chances?
Right.
The WWE is screwing that up. I don't care what anybody says, what kind of backstage magic, like the Royal Rumble match. There is no answer you can give me to say that this kid is successful. You better come up with some end game for him to turn heel or to make him this baby face that everybody loves. I just don't see it. So,
do you know what he needs, KJ?
What's he need, Mike?
He needs WCW so he can go somewhere else.
TNA.
No,
TNA.
Yeah,
TNA. Hey, look, let me ask you guys something. Hey, seriously, if they had done this differently a few years ago, if they had Roman Reigns turn his back on the other two instead of Seth Rollins being the one to turn his back on them, beat down Rollins and Ambrose with chairs and be viciously attacking them for weeks to come, siding with Triple H and the Authority, would we be looking at a different Roman Reigns today?
I'm going to say, me personally, well, yeah, if they're going to make him heel. If they made him heel, if they made him the guy.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we would definitely see a different.
Would the fans treat him differently, though?
That's hard to say, because Seth Rollins was you could believe he was the architect. You don't. There's no way I would believe that Roman Reigns was the fucking architect.
I don't think they would have went that route, though. I don't think they would have said he made the Shield. I think they would have said he was the muscle of the Shield. He was the man that made Shield work. Not he was the architect.
Yeah.
I think they would have went that route with it and done something along those lines.
All right, Chris, shut up. Tim's on the line.
Yay.
Tim's
Tim
here.
who?
So Chris,
Tim
shut the hell up.
I don't know any
Tim.
Tim.
The
Is
Tim.
it Tiny Tim? Tiny Tim?
No. It's like Big E said. He's the big meaty third leg.
Tim the Toolman Taylor? I mean, who we got? Tim who?
What? Tiny Tim?
Tim A?
Tiptoe by the window.
Tim A. It's who it is.
But
Tim
anyway,
A.
before Tim says something, I would like to expand upon something that KJ said about the Undertaker.
Yes.
He needs to stop. He looks like the character that Clint Eastwood played in Gran Torino. Seriously, when he was in the
I got one better.
He had that
I got
look.
one better. He looks like one of the corpses that he would be undertaking.
Oh no. It's not quite Crypt Keeper yet, but I'm definitely looking at him and I'm thinking, he looks like the racist old man that lives down the street that's going to shoot the Korean kid for being on his lawn.
Yeah.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Wow.
Yeah,
Tim.
He's just an old man now. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
love it.
even his physique is getting that look of, yeah, he's in shape, but his shoulders are getting narrower. He kind of looks like he might shuffle when he goes into CVS to pick up his medication.
He's got moves.
Yeah, he's got moves.
That's what I say. The pecs are starting to drop a little bit there. Not quite where they were before.
He looks like an old guy that's still trying to hold on to his youth. Is what he looks now.
Yeah.
He really does. And it's kind of sad. I'm a huge Undertaker fan. Everybody knows that. I love the guy to death, but it's time. It was time a couple of years ago, honestly. Just my opinion.
When the streak was broken, it should have ended. When the streak was broken, that should have been it.
No. I disagree. It should have been over in the cage match against Triple H. That's when it should have been over. Right then and there.
Yeah.
When they all walked out into the, when all of them walked out, it was Shawn Michaels, it was Triple H and them, and they put on that match was hellacious.
Yeah, because that Brock Lesnar match wasn't any good. So.
No.
What?
But that for me was when it was very painfully obvious that Taker was done. That he wasn't ever going to put on a really good match ever again. He probably needs help to put his damn boots on.
He didn't look good against CM Punk. That was the match before, and then it was the match. It was the match. That's why I was pissed, because I thought it was going to be over, and then CM Punk's going against The Undertaker, and then you're like, so what? Like, it was a nothing feud, and it was a decent match, but I don't remember it being anything special. So
I'll carry that match, but he'll never get the credit for that because it's CM Punk and The Undertaker, so
And if you're going to pass the torch, why wouldn't you pass it to someone that is deserving?
Mm-hmm.
Who's deserving in Vince McMahon's eyes? Who is it? The thing is who's deserving in Vince McMahon's eyes? He's the one still running the show. It's not about what you and I want. It's what Vince McMahon thinks is best. Because he thinks he's best with Hulk Hogan. He was best. He was right with Stone Cold, he says. He's right with The Rock. Now he says he's going to be right with this.
Yeah, but they were going to pass the torch to CM Punk, I think, right? Although CM Punk was already like made, and Vince couldn't stand CM Punk. Yeah, CM Punk was his cash cow at that time.
But if you listen to CM Punk's shoots he does and everything, he'll tell you all the time, all the different conversations they had about how when they didn't agree on hardly anything, and every time they had a conversation with McMahon, Triple H always had to be in there with them, listening to everything and being a part of it. He blames Triple H for a lot of what went bad and what went south there. And he thinks that's part of the reason why him and McMahon didn't get along with a lot of the stuff they wanted to do and everything. Like, McMahon wanted to push him for the longest time, but it's like he had a problem with his attitude. And he had attitude because he said he was being looked over all the time, not getting the main event. Like Rock would come in and get the main event after being gone all year. We worked all year, working his tail off to get there. He'd get overlooked for the Rock coming in. So.
Well, that's the thing is the Rock. I mean, fans got it's going to be the Rock. It's going to be Lesnar, who I think has not looked all that great since he's back. In my opinion, on that, he's big and he's strong, but he's lost that whole thing that he had when he left all those years ago. He's also a lot older and stuff, but those matches with like Kurt Angle and, those dudes and stuff, he's not doing anything even close to that right now. And he never will.
But now, check this out, Tim. Now, I just asked Chuck this a moment ago whenever Mike was coming over there to take your call and get you on there and everything. So, Mike, I don't know if you heard this either. If they had not done the whole Seth Rollins angle turning on the Shield, if they had done it differently and had Roman Reigns be the one to turn on the other two and beat them down with the chairs that night and side with Triple H and the Authority and not necessarily claim to be the whole architect of the thing, but claimed that he was the man that made everything work right or something like that, and he took on and that position became the champion and all that stuff as a heel, would he be treated differently by the fans today and looked at differently as a company?
I think as long as he doesn't open his mouth, he would have been fine. As long as he had the mouthpiece, those early years and stuff, and they had actually done that and had given him somebody like Triple H, Stephanie, or somebody to talk for him, yeah, he very well would be. I think he would be accepted by the fans much more, because the guy is, in my opinion, steadily improving in the ring, and he has flashes where he looks really, really good. And I think that as long as he doesn't open his mouth, he'd be fine.
Well, here's the thing too. I really feel like it had, but unfortunately, in the grand scheme of things, it had to be Rollins because he was the less. Well, I wouldn't say less likely. If anybody, I think it would have been Roman Reigns that everybody thought would turn on the Shield, because Roman Reigns a big guy, he doesn't say much, yada yada yada. But it couldn't be what's his name?
Dean Ambrose.
Couldn't be
Ambrose.
Yeah, it couldn't be Dean Ambrose because he was too much of a wild card. So it had to be Seth Rollins. It made too much sense.
But that's not the question, KJ. That's not the question.
I'm just telling you, hey, I know. I already answered the question. You weren't even there. So anyway,
yeah, that's right. So, Mike, what do you think about it then? If it went differently, how would it turn out?
I tend to agree with Tim on this. If that he didn't open his mouth, because let's face it, Roman has no charisma, really, whatsoever. He wishes he had the mic skills that Big Cass does, and that's pretty damn sad.
The Big Cass sounds kind of monotone most of the time to me.
Well, the thing is that Roman has the look, and he's got the expressions and all that stuff, but as soon as he opens his mouth, you're like, whatever. He's got everything that physically.
But if it had been Roman, and they were still working the angle, they would have had to have kept J&J security so Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury could have talked for him. Because I could see that working. I could really see that working. These two guys coming out saying, this is the guy. You're not going to mess with him. We're going to make sure no one else interferes.
Roman and Lynn Form whispered something to him, and they'll just say what he had said. Like he's too good to talk to the crowd. No, he doesn't address the people.
No. Roman's not even going to open his mouth because we know. I've already told you many times. Tell me about the rabbits again, George. Tell me about the rabbits again. 'Cause that's what it is. And I'm sorry. He just needs to stand there. They just need to get him a Hannibal Lecter muzzle thing. It'd be like, we got to keep this on him so he doesn't bite you.
I mean, think about it, though. I mean, when he was with the Shield, who did all the talking? It wasn't him. All he did was say, believe that. And that's all he ever said, pretty much.
And he screamed.
The other two did
He
everything.
did a scream.
Yeah, and he did the hoo-ah!
Now,
with that.
question for you guys. Question. Because, all right, and the first one of y'all that tells me Lex Luger had charisma, I'm going to come through this phone or through this microphone and torture rack you right in front of everybody. The first one of you says Lex Luger had charisma, I'm going to torture rack you myself. All right, back in the day when you had Lex Luger pushing, they're pushing Lex Luger, whether it be in WWE, WWF, whatever it's called at the time, WCW. They put Luger on the mic. He flexes for the crowd. Even Barry Windham, being tall and lanky, not necessarily a muscular build, gets a big push and is cheered by the fans. But he's not a great talker. What is the difference in a Lex Luger or a Barry Windham not being a great talker versus Roman Reigns? I'll give you one. I'll give you one big reason why. Roman Reigns he's a family wrestler. He's got a family of people in the business. Everybody naturally assumes that Reigns is in there only because of the Inoue family name, or however you say the name.
Another thing that.
So who's Barry Windham?
It's
so
a
who's Barry Windham?
Era.
What are you talking about? Who's Barry Windham?
Blackjack Mulligan's son.
So he comes from a wrestling family.
He comes from a wrestling family, but they never treated him that same way, though, is what I'm saying.
But,
he's cheered. Everybody loves him. He can't talk worth a hoot. I mean, he's a brawler in the ring. He's got the lariat. He's got the claw.
He wasn't that bad. He was just. I've seen Barry Windham's. I don't think he was that bad.
Again,
all right.
Ready? If I can.
Go ahead,
Tim. It was a different era. There were only a few guys that could really talk back then, though. Now it's a requirement to have mic skills. Back in those days, I mean, there were only a handful of guys that could actually talk, that were actually any good on the mic. Think about it. Back in those days, there weren't a lot of good mic guys. That's why most of them didn't say shit. You had Flair, you had Hogan, you had Dusty Rhodes, you had, but I mean, all honesty, like, what's his name? Kerry Von Erich, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I love that guy. I'll tell you what, he was awful on the mic. He was a great wrestler, but terrible on the mic.
But the fans loved him, though.
You know who else was awful? Bob Backlund. I counted like 30. I counted 37 ums to his A's, Z's, is. Like it was just every other word was
But that's the point. That's the point I'm making, though. There were so many people that were cheered greatly by the fans that were not good talkers on the mic. They might have even been less athletic, but the whole problem is that I don't know. I mean, Wyndham wasn't exactly thrust into people's faces or anything. He come in young as what, a Blackjack Mulligan Jr. kind of deal when he first came in, black hair, mustache, the whole works, and then broke off, got the blonde hair when I was Barry Windham at that point, not Mulligan. And kind of broke off on his own at that point, but still not a very great talker. A lot of them that come out there wasn't great talkers, like Tim just said. I mean, the Midnight Express had Jim Cornette talk to them because neither one of them could talk worth, especially Bobby. Not Bobby.
Richard Morton.
Yeah, Bobby Eaton. Yeah, Bobby Eaton could not talk. Robert Gibson couldn't talk, and that's why Ricky Morton did the majority of the talking for him.
Dude, because
I'll say this.
Morton was great. That's why.
I'll say this. I don't remember a whole lot of Barry Windham really talking. I was more the WW. I had the WWF more than I did the NWA WCW until Turner took over. But I will
Barry
say
Windham
this
just stood
about
there
Luger.
with his,
I remember with 4 fingers up.
I remember as a kid watching Lex Luger. Okay. I don't remember him talking except for one time when he was doing the body slam competition against Yokozuna. That's the only time I ever remember the man speaking.
Oh, he had plenty of speaking opportunities.
But
not necessarily the WWF, but I mean, I'm talking overall.
Maybe Vince saw that. I mean, all I remember, he would come down. They called him the narcissist for a long time, and he had all these mirrors and these women. And he'd just sit there and pose, and he didn't need to talk. His physical presence was enough to get his point across at that time. Roman Reigns looks like a guy who can't pay his rent. I mean, he's covered from head to toe. He looks like he's sleeping on a bench. His hair doesn't look like it's been washed in 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but that's the difference. It's not the name. It's that, number one, he tries to talk too much. If they would just not let him talk, just tell him to go down and beat somebody's ass, it'd be better.
Listen,
or be like Chuck said and let him talk more naturally, not scripted. Maybe that might make a difference. We don't know yet.
Well, listen. This is what they require him to do. They're telling him that he needs to talk more. Do you really think that he wants to talk more? I don't think he does. I think he's more conscious of his speaking ability than anything. Now, again, if you let him be heel, if you let him be natural, I saw interviews where he was natural and he was fine. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't. When he talks regular, he's
guys,
fine.
I'll be right back in a second. I gotta go put my son to bed.
All right.
Okay. But here's the thing. Like, I really feel like Barry Windham. I've seen Barry Windham talk. He's not that bad. Even Lex Luger, and I'm not saying he has charisma, although I think in the ring he kind of has an it factor with the way he moves. He actually moves pretty well comparatively to some of the other guys. What?
Not anymore.
You
That's
are
right, not anymore.
Awful human being, and I'm glad we're friends. Anyway, so what I'm saying is this. When I heard Luger speak, he wasn't that bad. I wouldn't say that he's in the top 100, but I don't think he's as bad a talker as Roman Reigns.
He's not charismatic by any means, though. He talks.
But neither is Roman.
On his mind. But see,
I agree with Chuck.
I must be the only person in the internet world altogether that probably has developed not really a liking for Roman Reigns, but I'm at that point right now where I'm just at the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't hate him. I don't like him. He doesn't bother me much when he talks, because the one thing I don't want to see on wrestling each week is 3 hours of talking. I want to see action. I don't mind watching him in action because they do a lot of good stuff when he's in the ring. I get tired of seeing the Superman punch constantly like Mike does. You should limit that. It should not be an every week, 4 or 5 time a match deal. And they should not make him look so darn strong that some brass knuckles don't take him out, like you see in the pay-per-view.
That's the biggest, terrible.
That's the biggest thing for me, and that's so annoying. But, I mean, even in the past in WWE, WWF past, when we're talking about people who didn't talk and weren't very charismatic, I love Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, one of my favorite ones growing up watching. His interviews were awful. The way he would talk, you know. I mean, when he got to WCW and he wasn't so quite over the top, it was a little bit better. But his WWF stuff was just horrible as far as interviews went, because he was living up to the Dragon persona, you know. I'm Bruce Lee persona or whatever. It was terrible. Brutus Beefcake. Who enjoyed listening to Brutus Beefcake talk? Did anybody enjoy Greg the Hammer Valentine talking? Really?
I'd rather listen to an accountant.
Don Morocco?
Yeah.
Don the Rock Morocco?
Morocco was terrible, dude.
I mean, you had all these people.
Too.
Tito Santana, did you enjoy? I'm just a bad example for you, I guess. Never mind. But still, these people in the past, I mean, they weren't great talkers, but the fans would cheer them in the ring. Nowadays, you got these people, and it's just like you said, it's a different era. I guess Tim's the one that said it's a different era. What do we have most of this time and this day and time, Mike? What's we have going around the world everywhere, not just in the wrestling business, but everywhere do you see on television, the news, Facebook, whatever? What do we see?
Preparation age?
A bunch of spoiled babies. When they don't get their way, they result to saying what? This ain't my president. This ain't my wrestler. This ain't my whatever. I'm going to boo this person. I'm going to pick at this politics. It all feels that way. No, I'm not. I'm not steering it towards politics. I'm just saying these are the type of people you have these days, and this is the action that's taken over everything. Whether it's a TV show they don't like going off the air, whether it's a sports star, Tom Brady. Everybody's hating Tom Brady tonight.
Yep.
They're really despising him. He's got 5 Super Bowl rings more than any other quarterback now. Now you can't say Joe Montana's the best because he has 4 Super Bowl rings. As quarterback with Super Bowl, you can't say that now because Brady got 5.
No, I don't know. I mean, there are still arguments. There are still arguments to be made that Joe Montana is a superior quarterback.
That's a different show for another time, though.
But I'm just saying you can't equate the numerity. Quantity does not equal quality.
That could be true. It could be true there. I mean, I'm not going to argue. You're definitely not going to argue sports and everything. I'm not a Falcons fan. I'm not a Patriots fan. Either one. I could care less who won tonight. I'm just saying people are hating him though right now, and it's because they love to hate him. They love to hate Michael Jordan when the Bulls won a championship. Did they not?
What? When did that happen? I've never heard anybody hate on him.
People hated Jordan.
I grew
hated Jordan.
I grew up a Bulls fan. I'm going to tell you, I got a ton of hate thrown my way against the Bulls and Michael Jordan.
Really?
Yeah.
By who?
On a daily
God,
basis.
Everybody loved Michael Jordan up here.
No. If you have, then you're not a diehard sports fan of any team then. If you're a diehard Laker fan, if you're a diehard Rockets fan or a Sixers fan or a Celtics fan, a Knicks fan of all the Knicks or the Pacers. If you're a diehard fan of these teams, you hate Michael Jordan, you hate the Bulls, and you let it be known greatly about that. But
you know what? I guess it just goes to show you that I am a diehard fan of wrestling because I hate the shit out of Roman Reigns.
I don't hate Roman Reigns. I hate the position he's in. I hate the position they put him in. This kid, I think, would have been different if I say it all the time, but it's the truth. The Royal Rumble debacles, keeping him in the same uniform and using the same music. Come on, man. It's not special. They should have. Why couldn't he get his own music? In fact, if they go heel, he needs to get rid of that music. And he could. How many people got, like here, with Shawn Michaels. He was 45 years old, and they're calling him the sexy boy toy. Come on, man. You could have given him something different.
He's better off coming out to the DX music nonstop at that point. I'll give you something to make you hate. Speaking of hating something, here's something for you to hate. I'm going to start off by leading into the fact of Seth Rollins' injury. We know he's been injured and everything, right? It's looking like, after being checked out by some doctor in Birmingham, Alabama, after the evaluation, he might miss 8 weeks of action. So his current WrestleMania 33 status remains unknown, it says. It depends on his rehabilitation. Now, John Cena came back sooner than expected. Seth Rollins very well could too, but it's not guaranteed. So they have been throwing around a match replacement in case he's unable to participate in WrestleMania. Are you ready for the possible replacement match, Chuck?
Just say it.
Triple H versus Shane McMahon.
That's not what I heard.
That's what they're saying.
Listen. I heard it's actually AJ versus Shawn and Shane McMahon. That's almost a lock. That's almost a lock. That's pretty much a lock.
I don't know for sure if it's going to be yet. It depends on how they do it. It depends on how the elimination chamber goes, probably. That's most likely how it depends on that. But when they came back, I know it makes a lot of sense because he was mad at him before going into that match against Cena talking about the Elimination Chamber. He was mad about that. They had a lot of words going back and forth, and I thought truly they were leading up to it as well. It's hard to say for certain which direction they will go with it, though. Ultimately, I guess it's up to the people who were involved with it, but you've got Triple H needing somebody to come out there so he can showcase himself, and if that's the case, he's going to showcase himself, then we're talking about him versus Shane McMahon to represent SmackDown at that point. And what they'll do with AJ at this point, I guess, would be unknown because I don't see it listed there at all. It just means now this is on WrestleZone too, so take it for what it's worth. These are all rumors. As far as anybody who's listening, these are all just rumors, of course. None of these are guaranteed to be truth at all. These are different things we're reading, so it could very well be the same as you're talking about. We could have it be the same thing, AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. I would prefer Shane McMahon not be involved at all, though.
I was going to say that. Honestly, it upsets me that, like, how do you not watch what happened at where was it, SummerSlam, or was it? No, it was Survivor Series. Who I didn't want to watch him. I don't want to watch him wrestle. It's the same. Like when he went against Undertaker, that was a pretty good match. He was in decent shape, and then he lost it. And he blew up, and he was terrible. Nobody, like, he was dying when he tagged in, whoever he was tagging in, and he went on the apron and he's just hanging out. I thought he was gonna have a heart attack. Like, I don't want to see it. Plus, it's a waste of AJ's talents. Now, are we talking like 10 years ago? 15 years ago, that kind of Shane-O? Yes, why not? I think he could keep up. There is no way that Shane O'Mac can keep up at this age, can keep up with AJ Styles. Or do you really think people want to fucking see that? No. If they have to be, it would make more sense. It would be Triple H and Shane O'Mac. It would make the most sense because, like, even when they were talking, who was it? It was the podcast, Stone Cold podcast, and Stone Cold asked about him and his relationship with Triple H, and he just kind of kept quiet. And they're like, "What do you?" And he wouldn't answer the question. And you could tell he was pissed. And it was a shoot. He's just like, my sister married him, and yeah, that's about as much as I'll say. And I was like, oh shit. I thought it might have been a work, not a work. It was a total shoot. So it would make sense, and there would be so much heat between the both of them. It'd probably be a great match. And Triple H is probably as old as he is. So they would go out. Oh, of course, Triple H would probably be in better shape. But what I'm saying is, it would be a slower match because, you know, he's not flying around. I mean, fucking Triple H is not. He was never really quick to begin with. He was a slower wrestler. So that would make the most sense, not AJ who flips around. I mean, AJ, all he has to do is, like, just run around him. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, really? No, man. Please. Go ahead.
I just don't buy it.
Yeah,
Mike, what do you think? I mean, would you be interested in watching Shane McMahon and Triple H, truly? I mean, would that really get you to tune in for that match?
No, I mean, I would much rather see, I don't know, puppies get killed.
That's just that's what it interests me on.
Okay.
No, I would watch. I would watch that. I would watch that because they would be legitimate heat. That's the only reason why I'd watch it is because that match would be if Shane-O got in shape, like really good shape, like he did against Undertaker, because he was in really good shape. He didn't blow up. I would be so interested in that match because you know that heat is going to. Now, would they really punch each other? No. But, I mean, think of the real heat from years ago with Tully Blanchard and fucking Magnum TA. That was pure fucking hate. Now, if you have half of that hate and you put those two in a ring, and like I said, he's in shape and Triple H is in shape, hell yeah, I'd want to see that match.
If I may, guys,
No, don't.
Now, I'm actually I'm kind of tired of seeing old guys from the 90s wrestling in this day and age. Old guys from the early 90s, mid-early 90s wrestling now. Tired of it. They need to move on past these guys. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying, I'm tired of seeing Roman Reigns too, but you know what? There's plenty of young talent out there that they could give a push to instead of using guys like Triple H and Shane McMahon, The Undertaker, and fucking stupid-ass Goldberg, whom I always thought was garbage, among others. Instead of using these old guys, why not?
I mean, what's next? Is Vince going to dust it off and get back in the ring? I mean, seriously. Shane O'Mac.
Vince looks better than I do physically.
Yeah, but Shane is 47 years old. The dude's 47. And it's not like he's been a wrestler. It's not like he's Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's 48.
Yeah, I know Triple H is in his mid-40s, things like that, where, these guys are not, They're not spring chickens anymore.
No.
I mean, shit. I mean, let's face it. We all get up in the morning. We're like, oh god. Now imagine doing what those guys did for 15 years. No hell. No. It's just crazy talk. I really am out seeing the old guys. They need to get away from this whole pensions for coaches, especially like I can't stand the part-timers. I don't want to see The Rock anymore. I don't. If he wants to come and make an appearance and promote his new movie, so be it. I don't care. But don't ever get in the ring again. I don't want to see it. That's just
right.
me.
I mean, if he's now considered more a movie star than anything. We don't look at him as being a wrestler anymore. And for him to show up at WrestleMania and to say he has a match against somebody would be just ridiculous. Now, if he shows up and has a little 5-minute skit with somebody, like a couple of years ago with him and Cena, wasn't it? Him and Cena with the Wyatts, I believe, a little 5-minute deal or something like that for fun. Whatever, that's cool. You're kind of because they were there talking about that Fast and Furious movie. Anyways, all they were doing for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see him in the ring anymore. I don't want to see Triple H in the ring anymore. Triple H is great in the role he's in. I don't want to see him wrestle anymore. It's the same thing. Just move away from those guys. Otherwise, you can't build your new talent. It's like any other sport. It's like any other sport out there. If you're constantly not giving up to this old guy, there's some talent there that are ready to that should have already pushed him out of the way, but you won't allow them to. All it does is it hurts your product.
So I've seen something earlier. This is kind of steering away from WWE and WrestleMania a little bit here, but I've seen something earlier about everybody's other favorite big man that can't talk, Ryback, talking about the possibility of him headed to TNA wrestling.
Do me a favor. Listen. Do me a favor. I'm going to put you guys on pause, and then I'm going to fall the fuck asleep. I don't care about Ryback. So why the fuck are we talking about Ryback?
Hold on. Okay, Chuck's on pause now. Chuck's on pause. He has to be on pause. He's on pause. So, we're talking about Ryback going to TNA possibly. The reason why I bring it up is because I've seen another TNA article here, not really because I want to talk about Ryback. But there's a talk of the possibility, and Chuck, you're off pause, I was just messing with you, about doing a hip-hop show to wrestle matches and everything. But the reason why I actually brought that up is it goes hand in hand with the other story here about Anthem that bought TNA and calling it Impact now. They were bringing Jeff Jarrett in reportedly as a consultant or an advisory position, they said. Now there's word going around, and they cannot confirm it just yet, that there's supposed to be a deal between them and Jeff Jarrett to make him the new executive producer for Impact Wrestling and take the place of their current one, John Gaverick, they got there. Apparently, John Gaverick has not been very good for the show or very good for business. He's caused a lot of trouble backstage and trouble with the talent and stuff and everything. So they want to get rid of him, and they're about putting Jeff Jarrett in that position now instead of just as an advisory role. I don't know what his full extent was when he was there, when he was part owner, or just full owner at the time, whatever it was. But what all kind of input. I mean, he was world champion at one point, yes. But I mean, as far as other creative input with other angles and everything, I'm talking about. I don't know how much he had input with all of that. Like right now, if he's the executive producer, I would think he'd have some sort of input to what they're doing. Maybe not control, but input on what he thinks would be good for them to see. And since Anthem Sports is not necessarily known for running a wrestling show over the years, they would need somebody who has some sort of experience with that in the creative area to help work things out. So you've got him coming in, supposedly Dutch Mantel coming in, and whoever they got now, minus this guy who might be on the way out the door. I just wonder, what Jeff Jarrett would bring to it at this point in time, because he's not going to be in the ring wrestling as champion anytime. But I wonder what he would bring as far as creative goes.
Well, to Jeff Jarrett's defense, I mean, the X Division was his idea. That whole thing was, and that was brilliant, and that's what everybody tuned in to see, and he saw that and understood. That's why he basically turned it into almost its own show, was because he understood that everybody wanted to see that. So I mean, I think the guy has a great mind for the business, but I also think that his ego sometimes gets in the way of that mind. You know what I mean? Because I think that he's somebody that feels that he needs to be in the spotlight too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I said the same thing as well. Because that's how it was in the past. And plus, remember, he came up in the Memphis area where Jerry Lawler had a hand in all the creativity spots. And what was Jerry Lawler the whole time he was there? He was off and on champion nonstop. I mean, he would lose it, but he'd win it back. He'd lose it, he'd take it back. And he'd put people over coming in, but he'd always come right back and take it back from them weeks later and be the king as usual. So
yeah, he would end up being the overall winner of the feud, which is the problem,
right?
Which is what concerns me of that mentality, But I mean, what's it going to hurt TNA to try to go back to the past, which was fairly successful compared to what the product is now?
Well, I think if Anthem is smart, they will tell Jarrett, you can't be a wrestler.
Right.
You can be an executive producer, but you can't be a wrestler. Sorry, Jeff.
I think he shouldn't even be an on-screen role personally, because he's one of those guys, kind of like Hogan did, where my face is there at all times.
No, and see, I agree with you guys. No wrestling, no on-screen appearance, but I think he should have some and no creative control, but have input on the different things that could go on. That would, because he does have experience with that part at least anyway. It might throw some decent ideas out there. Like right now, Matt Hardy's got creative control over his character. That's pretty much
which is why his character is awesome.
As he should.
Right, and they've given it to him.
Anybody that tries to control or dumb down that character needs to be shot in the face.
Somebody posed the question of Kenny Omega. Why Kenny Omega? Well, they said, would Kenny Omega come to TNA if given complete creative control of his character and what direction it went? I think the answer is still no on that, regardless. They gave it.
I don't know
if he can ever do that.
Japan,
I don't think they
can. He has complete creative. He has complete creative control, and he'd probably have to take a pay cut to do it. So why would he?
Right, to take a pay cut. Right.
Plus, the history of TNA and Impact is always teetering. It's never assured. WWE is not going anywhere unless Vince McMahon, kills a newborn. But as far as anything else goes, TNA, you never know. It's always been on shaky ground, no matter who is in charge. So
I think it's better now than it has been a long time, though, because
but it's still not secure. It's better, but it's not secure.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched TNA in probably 2 years. Not even. The only thing I've seen is clips of what Matt Hardy's been doing. That's about it. That's the only thing I've seen from them. So I wouldn't know anything about what they're doing right now.
I did watch the show a couple weeks ago. It wasn't bad. It wasn't all that bad.
And I know that they took what's his name, Galloway, whatever his name is, the guy that was and made him world champion. Drew
Gallo.
Yeah, Drew Galloway. They made him a champion and stuff, which I thought was a good move. And I know I like Ethan Carter III. I think he's a talented wrestler, and I like what he does. I know he's been champion, but I don't know a whole lot else, about him.
Now, the show I saw just the other day, it was I guess it was a show from a couple weeks ago. They had a 2 out of 3 they had an Iron Man match between Danny Lashley and the guy that was a champion. That's one half of the Wolves, Eddie
Edwards.
Eddie Edwards, thank you. They had a match. Eddie Edwards was the champion, and they had an Iron Man match with him and Lashley for the title. And Lashley ends up beating him 3 matches to 2. And the way it ends up, it looks like Lashley is in a move to tap out with 30 seconds left. He's watching that clock while he's in that hold, and he's trying not to tap. And finally, right at the end of it, he just holds out and doesn't tap out, and it ends, and he wins 3 matches to 2, and wins the belt back. Pretty entertaining show there. The tag match, they were talking about the little tag match you were having between the Hardys, and I don't know what they call this group because I haven't watched enough to keep up with them, but it's got Abyss, and it's got a woman character and another guy character, and they look like some bad versions of the Joker from the Dark Knight movie.
It's like this thing. I know it's Crazy Steve or whatever is the guy.
Crazy Steve, that's
like
the
that.
name they kicked out there.
Yeah. I can't think of the name of what they're called, but yeah. But they're
they had that going on. That wasn't that bad. So I mean, I think they could put together a pretty decent show if they had a little bit more talent there and went in the right creative direction with it. I think they could do something pretty good if they don't put them on a night that counters any WWE show, and they don't try to push it for 2 or 3 hours. So I'm
what night
saying,
doesn't counter a WWE show anymore though? Aren't they on like 6
well, you got Thursday. You got Thursday and Friday they can put them on, and Thursday is probably the best night for it because Friday has other shows on the other networks that are popular as well. Thursday is kind of like it's not like it used to be anymore for Thursday night television. I mean, there's not a whole lot out there people are watching on Thursday night. This might be the better chance for them. And if they're going to stay on, what is it, Pop TV? I don't know how successful they're going to be with that. Anthem's going to try and swing something that's not Pop TV, but they're going to have to show, though, that they can put something better out there than what they've had in the past, too. So it's going to be a long climb
they need to find,
if they can get there.
They need to find a better network. I mean, who, though? I mean, they're obviously not going to go anywhere near USA, and they're not going to get one of the major networks.
That's what I'm saying. They got to get something other than Pop Network. They got to have something else altogether for sure.
Maybe Spike. I mean,
no, I don't think Spike's going to take him back after.
I know WWE was on Spike. I didn't know.
TNA was on Spike for a while.
Spike is possible. Yeah, I mean, it is a possibility. It's just not likely.
You know what would be really good for them, honestly, if somebody would pick them up like Hulu. Or
yes,
because there's more than one way to consume media now. I mean,
Netflix could pick them up. Netflix is picking up a lot of other stuff. Why not pick up a wrestling?
Hey, you guys. Speaking of which, Netflix is debuting Lucha Underground on the 15th.
Oh, that's right. They are. That's right. So we'll scratch what I said then.
They got Lucha Underground on the 15th. It's either Netflix or Hulu, one or the other. I have both. So
it is Netflix. You're right. I read the same thing. And they're going to start with season 1, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm excited.
Go back and watch season 1 to catch up. So.
Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, and it's something that I said before. See how you're sitting there saying, oh, I wish they got picked up by this person, this group, and that group, and this group. This supports my comment of they're on shaky ground. Because Pop can go somewhere. That doesn't sound like a station that may or may not, have staying power. And now you're saying that people should, they should shop around. If they were doing as well as they should, then they should be shopping around. That's what I'm talking about. That's why Kenny Omega didn't go, because he's a great businessman.
This is true, but we need to. Anthem still hasn't had enough time to really write the shit.
By the way,
right,
Hulu is completely out because WWE's on Hulu. So.
Well, that doesn't mean you can't play them on there though. They just repeat the stuff that's been on there on Hulu. They can always
but I'm
repeat.
guessing there's probably some kind of contract with them,
Oh, and you know who else?
There
Yahoo
could always
puts out
be
a lot of original programming now.
So does
what about the Fight app?
Amazon.
How about that? The Fight app.
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazon.
You got Amazon
Fight.
Amazon, or you
Fight
get
TV.
that Fight app.
Yeah. Or really, honestly, if they could even get on a network like late night, even if it's I don't know at midnight on CBS or NBC, and just start regionally broadcasting.
But I got it. What they need to do.
I
got it. What they need to do. YouTube. YouTube has networks within the whole YouTube deal. There, they've got small networks within there. They could. I mean, a lot of people think about this are going and watching and keeping up consistently each week with a lot of YouTube programming that's out there these days. A lot of it's reality type programming.
Did.
Right, exactly. So why not go that same route?
Underground had its own YouTube network. Yeah, I was. I watched some of their stuff. That's what they were doing until they got in with Hulu.
That's what I'm saying. Start there. They got to start somewhere. As Anthem Sports being the owner, Pop TV may not be the best route because you don't get it on standard cable channels usually. It's something you get on like DirecTV or Dish Network. So let's be real about it. Get them something like that.
you got to get the upper tier packages in order to get Pop TV too. It doesn't even come on the base package of DirecTV.
Exactly. And then let's look at this.
It's
with the
network.
With the talent, I'm gonna look this up real quick while y'all talk about that for a second. I want to see what their current roster looks like.
But
there's some good,
Anthem has
really good guys.
Anthem has some swing because they've been putting on MMA programming for a long time. So it's not like this is their first rodeo into the realm of MMA/sports entertainment kind of thing. They've done this before. They have connections, and I'm sure they're just biding their time to whatever contract that they had with Pop TV, the remnants of what was TNA that is now Pop TV, or that is now Impact Wrestling, is done and over with, so they can get something better. And they've removed that festering, cancerous butt wart known as Dixie Carter from the picture. Thank you, Jesus.
Well, hey, they have, what's his name? They have Damian Sandow on the roster. He is Aaron Rex.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Bram guy, who I actually think is pretty good. They have the Hardys. Who else? Cody Rhodes is a member of the roster still.
They still got that...
Cody Rhodes is officially in New Japan now.
Is he? Okay. Well, I know New Japan and TNA kind of, they do share guys and stuff.
So the same thing with Ring of Honor as well. They'd also share with Ring of Honor sometimes. Yeah,
Davey Richards, Drew Galloway, Eddie Edwards, Ethan Carter III.
Now, is James Storm still there?
James Storm is still there.
So here's the list I'm seeing for a babyface roster. Who is Braxton Sutter? Or Suter?
Who knows?
I don't know.
There's a Braxton Suter, Davey Richards, DJ Z, Eddie Edwards, Ethan Carter III, James Storm, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Jesse Goddards, Mahabali Shera, Mandrews, Moose, and Robbie E. It says their heel roster is Abyss, Andrew Everett, Baron Dax, Basil Baraka, Bobby Lashley, Bram. Is that what you said a moment ago? Bram. Drew Galloway, Crazy Steve, Eli Drake, Mike Bennett, Marsh Rocket, Rockstar Spud, Trevor Lee, and Tyrus. Their knockouts: Gail Kim, Allie Jade, Laurel Van Ness, Madison Rain, Maria Kanellis, Marty Bell, Rosemary, and Sienna. As far as the tag team goes, tag team roster, Jesse Goddards and Robbie E. are the Bromans. The Broken Hardys, we know Matt and Jeff. The Decay is what they're called, Tim. Abyss, Crazy Steve, and Rosemary. The Helms Dynasty, Andrew Everett, Marsh Rocket, and Trevor Lee. And the Tribunal, Baron Dax and Basil Baraka, along with the Wolves, Eddie Edwards, and Davey Richards. So, I mean, they've got a roster of people. Some of these names I know, some of them I don't. Of course, Aaron Rex, like you mentioned, is there. If they bring other people in as well, if they can talk some of the past WWE guys to come in, like Wade Barrett, for example, that'd be a good addition to them.
That'd be a really good addition. He's a really good wrestler. I actually like him on the mic too, personally.
He's got some bad news for you.
Exactly. I like Barrett. I think Barrett is charismatic and he's a good worker. I like him a lot.
And then, of course, think of it. He was in Nexus. When he was in Nexus, he was amazing. I think he was so charismatic and such a leader. After that, he just floundered, and it's a shame because he's a great wrestler, an amazing talker.
So we need Wade Barrett to come in with his other former Nexus person, Skip Sheffield, right?
No. You know what? I'm going to light you on fucking fire. Really, I am. I think I hate you more because of that, man.
You know what? They should have just named him Cryback, because that's all he ever did was cry and piss and moan.
I wish his name was Fryback, because I want to light him on fire. I hate him. Continue.
He said recently here, where was it? He was really talking down the WWE recently, saying they did him bad, they did him wrong. Do you remember when Ryback came out and said that all the wrestlers should be paid the same money? All the people on the roster, he said, should get paid the exact same money because they're all there doing the same thing, which is entertaining the fans. Jim Cornette, who said he didn't really know who Ryback was from anybody else hardly, heard that comment and said it's the absolute stupidest stuff he ever heard in his life. That's like saying that one of the terrorists in Die Hard got the same money Bruce Willis got. Of all things. And he said you can't give all the guys on the roster the same money, which kind of takes us to what I mentioned earlier to Mike earlier today. I was going to kind of bring this up a little bit. Today's version of main eventers versus mid-card people versus your opening card matches. You know, there is still a difference in the amount of pay these people are getting because it's based on, look, are you putting butts in seats? Is your merchandise selling? How popular with the fans are you and all this good stuff? You know, what kind of draw are you? And not all of them make the mid-card to main event status. Well, Ryback was pushed to a main event status somewhat, not world heavyweight title status, but he had a U.S. title run.
He actually had world title matches, yeah.
Did he have world title matches as well, too, that often? I mean, I don't know if he had them often or not. It's like a real push for it, but I mean, he had his chance, his opportunity, and he's just not great with it. And people like CM Punk said he was stiff and he hurts people because he hurt Punk twice. So nobody wanted to work with him hardly. Yeah. So he got bumped back down to the mid-card status, and he couldn't stand that fact at that point, and it was wrong. He said he got put where he got put because he was a big, draw, he thinks.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when he came out, I never much of stood there and did his two moves. And I mean, people say you can say what you want about John Cena, but John Cena, he can expand his stuff. I don't think Ryback has any wrestling skill at all, and he's awful on the mic. There's no contribution for him at all, in the main event.
Now, there's one I would agree with, hands down. That can't talk to save his life for sure. That I can 155% agree with that.
Terrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, in all honesty, this is going to sound crazy, but I would rather see Roman Reigns any day. I would. I mean, Ryback has the great look. I mean, let's face it, that guy is physically impressive. I mean, physically, wow. But he's not any good in any other form.
If Ryback and Roman Reigns had a match and the loser had to not talk ever again in professional wrestling, which one would you root for?
Ryback.
Roman. Roman Reigns.
Ryback.
Oh, fuck that. No, Ryback. All day.
Would you hope it's a tie and neither one of them can talk anymore?
Maybe they could both fall off the cage and break their necks together. I'm kidding. I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I'm kidding.
Oh,
wow. Just for that.
Tim says, let's give him the draws treatment.
You just made the list.
Every week. Every single week. Congratulations.
Not every week. I didn't make it last week. Chuck made it last week. I didn't.
You know who should have made the list? Mike for that Lex Luger.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
You should have.
Mike, looking back at it, Mike. Looking back at it.
You just made the list.
Now, I will say this in my defense, though. I wasn't wishing anything ill on Mr. Luger. It's already happened.
Oh.
Yes, I know. But listen, you did the like bully from The Simpsons. That's basically what you did. That's what you did. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's what you did.
Lex Luger, that was a horrible human being, from what I understood. I heard that. I haven't heard anything good about him as a person ever.
Now he's a horrible cyborg.
You almost made me stop my drink, stupid. Fucking hate you. Holy shit. I'm downstairs in my wife's office and I almost spewed all over fucking shit. Anyway. No, hey, he found Jesus, and Jesus found him because he couldn't go far.
And there goes another one. There goes another one.
That was great, dude.
Put me on the list. That was great.
I'm not even going to put you on. You're not even deserving of the list this week. No.
Well, I was early.
No,
Look,
anyway.
Ryback is saying that basically he's going to have a third neck surgery and was going to sue the company. And Vince McMahon talked him out of it, saying he was never going to give up on him. The WWE did not have anyone else like him ever in the company, that he wasn't giving up on him. don't go through this whole lawsuit thing.
They didn't
and
give up
everything.
on him. He's the one. He's the one that quit on them. They didn't. They didn't
He
quit
did
on
walk
him.
out on him. He did, yes.
Yeah. So that's on him. That's sour grapes. I really think that. I mean, he quit in the middle of this. He said, "I'm not gonna," and he just sat at home. And so that's him. That's him acting like a big baby, for not getting his way. That's exactly what he is. He's like a child having a tantrum.
Well, what I would like to see with TNA though, guys, is them to expand in a partnership with New Japan, like Ring of Honor has done, and possibly even a partnership with New Japan. Not a merger like I had brought up, months past. Not a merger necessarily, but a partnership where maybe they can exchange talent from time to time, just like the old territories used to do when they would exchange talent. Because I know Memphis and Bill Watts in Mid-South Wrestling would exchange talent all the time, back and forth for months at a time, and then have their people come back. They could do something like that and make it more interesting. That would help out TNA a lot. It would still help out Ring of Honor, keeping some new faces in there and making things interesting there as well. It would be months at a time when somebody would be there at TNA versus Ring of Honor versus New Japan, or they could do crossover events like New Japan and Ring of Honor did for one of their New Japan Wrestle Kingdom deals. They could do something like that as well. That would be kind of nice to see, working some sort of partnerships like that and not trying to be cutthroat against each other, because they're never going to reach up there at the top individually. I mean, and together they probably never will either. But they can make it.
Well, dude,
they can give the fans a fun alternative to watch.
I don't think New Japan has anything to worry about ever.
No, they don't.
They don't. Everybody else is basically, whatever merger they do or whatever agreement they have is basically to boost the other guys, because New Japan needs no help at all. They're fine. They're the Japan, WWE pretty much. They're not going to go anywhere.
Well, that's because they're backed by the Yakuza. So when you're backed by the Yakuza, you should be okay.
Yeah.
And they're not going anywhere. That's a problem. Reason. That's the reason why Pride went to hell, and War, because just got out of control.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you guys talked about the. I don't know. Go ahead.
No, what's that? Talk about what?
I was just gonna bring up the next WWE pay-per-view and just see what you guys thought about what they were doing so far with that.
That's the Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah.
Do they have a card? Is the card finished for it already?
I only know the actual chamber match. I don't know what else is going on with it right now. And the chamber match has Cena, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, and Baron Corbin, and one other guy.
The Miz.
I can't think of the other person. The Miz.
Yeah. I've actually got a lot more into Baron Corbin here lately, too. I don't know what it is different about him, but, I mean, he's not that bad to watch either, really, when it comes to SmackDown.
Yes, he is.
I mean, but I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him in Callisto. I don't want to see that. I'm tired of that.
He is terrible. Terrible.
Okay, listen to me. No, Corbin's not bad in the ring. I'm not going to say he's not bad in the ring. He can move for a big man. Where he becomes cardboard is when he was on color commentary. I swear to God, I'd rather listen to Roman Reigns 100 times than listen to Baron Corbin once. And that's the God's honest truth.
Well, the thing that gets me about Baron Corbin is he's a big guy, but he's not really a big guy.
He's a lanky guy.
He's not. He's tall. He's like the Yeti. He's tall.
Honestly, he's kind of built like Edge was.
Right, except just taller.
Yeah, just taller and a little broader shoulder. In all honesty, when I see him,
and Big Cass against each other, that would be entertaining to me.
Who?
If Big Cass was a single wrestler, I wouldn't mind seeing Big Cass versus Baron Corbin. That would be entertaining.
And I hope he puts a big boot right to his stupid face. I really do.
Hater.
The thing with Corbin is that when he walks into the ring, his entrance is cool. I mean, I think his T-shirt is cool. He's got a great look. Then he steps in the ring and he's not even there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big guy that's not even there. I mean, literally.
and for him
there.
him to eliminate Strowman at the Rumble was just pathetic.
That was important.
But you
That
know
was
what?
important,
But you know
but it
why?
was
You know
pathetic.
why it's done, though, right? You know why? You gotta know why it's done.
No.
It's to help propel his status a little bit on SmackDown. He did win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal tournament they had. All right,
and he hasn't done anything since.
Right, but they haven't given much of a push of anything since. They put him against Kalisto of all people. What are you gonna do with him? And then Dolph Ziggler. Him and Ziggler went head to head for what? 4 pay-per-views off and on during that time, and then they give him Kalisto.
Hey, let's recap the guys that have won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Cesaro, Baron Corbin,
And the Big Show.
and the Big Show. Okay,
Yep.
and what have they done with all 3 of those guys? Nothing.
Well, the Big Show.
So-
the Big Show.
Cesaro's
Big
had
Show
the
by
biggest,
then,
but Cesaro's had the biggest push of all 3 of them, though. He's had the U.S.
Which is
title,
sad.
U.S. title push. He should have had a world title push and didn't. He's been tag team
but
champion.
he's getting hurt. He got
but he gets
when
hurt.
They were going to push him with the world title. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
But it
Corbin
seems like maybe
to
it's
have
bad
a
luck.
decent. Maybe they should have Corbin and Ambrose go at it for a little bit. Ambrose is one of the big guys up there that's real popular. What if he shows out against Ambrose some and has a good chemistry with him in the ring? That would propel him even that much further at that point.
I got an opponent. How about him versus a Broom for the I don't give a fuck title?
No. It's got to be Moppy with Perry Saturn as his manager.
All right, so we have
Standard of the year, right?
We have Chuck's opinion, and then we have other people's opinion. They all come together, and Chuck will probably be outdone because the whole lot of world don't want to see him wrestle a broom. Just like nobody wants to see anybody wrestle a blow-up doll in the ring like they do with that fan crap they do, or Joey Ryan get out in the middle of the ring, has one grab his trunk and flip him over.
Hilarious.
Just to let you know, Kenny Omega put on a hell of a match against the blow-up doll. Okay.
That was
actually a pretty
ridiculous,
solid match.
though. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
no, it was amazing.
Hey, it was better than anything Baron Corbin has ever done in his career.
You goddamn right.
I
No, you know
will-
what?
I
Wait a
will
minute.
disagree.
Wait a minute.
Hold
Wait a
on,
minute.
Chuck. Hold up,
Wait a
Chuck.
minute.
Hold up.
God.
Now, Chuck doesn't know this yet, but he's on mute because he keeps talking bad about Baron Corbin. So I got to keep him on mute. He's like in the corner for like 30 seconds here. He's cussing me right now. I can tell. My ears are burning.
All right.
Baron
Hey,
Corbin
Tim.
too,
Hey, Tim. Chris is on
What's up?
mute now because he's been dick riding Baron Corbin too much.
Chris is not on mute. He heard every word of that. And now Chuck is
Yeah,
back too.
Now I'm unmuted, you motherfucking mutt. Listen to me. And I'm going to be serious now. When it comes to Baron Corbin, I don't care. That one match, the chairs match, whatever the fuck it was, with him and Kalisto were fire. That was a great match. That really was a great. I will never take that away. That was a great match, mainly because of Kalisto. But here's the thing. I didn't want to see it again. I don't want to see it again. I don't ever want to see it again. And I don't want to see Corbin. I don't. Why? Why do I? First of all, he has a receding hairline somehow. He's got really shitty hair. That's one.
Hot calling kettle black.
Listen, what?
Seriously, Chuck. You and I can't
listen.
talk crap about somebody
No,
else's
we
hair.
can.
Chuck.
No, shut up. Listen,
It's not as bad as Lee Greenwood's.
No, listen to me. I can talk about that. Fuckface, I can talk about that, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm old, and I realize I'm old. He is not as old as I am. He has a problem. Not only that. The problem I have with him is he doesn't seem mad. He seems like a curmudgeon. He seems like he's mildly, he's just irritated. That's all he does. He's bored and he's irritated.
Okay. So
you know what I mean?
he's a male. He's a male Nia Jax.
Or Samoa Joe, who just looks mildly irritated all the time.
No. Samoa Joe does not look mildly irritated. That guy looks pissed. That guy looks like he didn't get his...
I disagree.
No, I agree.
I think Samoa Joe looks like a man that has external hemorrhoids that are pulsatingly hurting him all the time, but he's too much of a man's man to admit that he's in pain. So he just grits his teeth and bears it in hopes he doesn't have to fart or shit because he knows he's going to cry.
No. This
real
is
quick.
No.
Real quick, you guys. Just to let you know, I'm actually a big fan of Samoa Joe. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing his shirt right now as we speak. Because
but your nipples are hard too. Hurry up.
Oh, definitely. Oh, it's sexy. I know you want to see it. I'm going to send a picture right now.
Okay, yay. Go ahead. Hurry up. I got something. Go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, listen to me. I almost forgot my point, but I remember now.
Great.
He reminds me of a guy. Shut up. He reminds me of a guy who had internet, and then he lost internet, and then he got internet again, and then he tried to get into some kind of website, and the website was down, and he's on the phone with customer service. Customer service has him on hold for 50 minutes. He gets a computer, and then when he gets after the computer, he gets a fucking guy from India and who's trying to do an American accent, which is worse. And then that's it. He's pissed. He has to go to the match and he kills people. That's why I think he is.
You just described Comcast in 30 seconds right there. I mean, dude.
That sounds like Sprint, dude.
And then when I get to the phone to them, they're telling me that same story every time. I just talked to somebody who's in the darn Philippines and can't speak no English, and I'm tired of it because I can't get my Netflix to load on my darn smart TV that I don't know how to work in the first place. Okay, it's a Samsung. It should just work it on. I paid top dollar for that and my internet. I paid top dollar.
Well, you know what, guys? It's like that everywhere because our reference laboratory, where I work, when I get a call, this is how. Hello, my name is Bob, and I am calling from Quest Diagnostics. Your name's not Bob.
Yeah, stop.
You
the
lied
best is when
to
they
me.
the best. The all-time best is when they try to come off as Americans. And try to do that English thing. Like they're like, hello, and they're trying, and somebody had them like learn some teach them some English.
Hey guys,
it's not working. Yes.
Well, JJ Torres actually has a question for us.
I know. I was gonna say it, but go ahead, steal my thunder, fucker.
Is the Intercontinental title irrelevant again with Ambrose as champion? And his point is because he didn't defend it at the Royal Rumble, he won't be defending it at the Chamber since he's in the Chamber match. So,
I don't think it's irrelevant at all due to that. I mean, it's just based on what they put him in for a match. I mean, there should be. Now, I do think he should be defending it. He shouldn't be in that Elimination Chamber match. I think that he should be defending the title against somebody else.
Do you think he should be the
Intercontinental title reign too? He held it for like months and never defended it. Remember that?
He did defend on SmackDown several times as far as the world title goes.
Oh, like was it the U.S. title that he had? There was some title he had when he was with the Shield. He didn't defend it at all.
Oh, U.S. title. Yeah, U.S. title.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, it killed it.
Well,
he didn't defend it for like months.
Yeah, well, but do you even think that it's a good idea to put the IC title on him, regardless? Like, after the world title, he was a world champion, and now he's IC?
No, it's dumb.
Mike, that leads to my thing.
Let the Miz have that Intercontinental title. Let him have it.
Look, right there's the question after Mike earlier. One of the topics to bring up tonight. Is it more important to the fans or more important to the wrestler that they have the title on them? Any title.
It's more important to the wrestler because
not the title, any title.
Oh, I would answer the question if you quit talking. Jesus.
Any title.
Shut up.
The title.
It's more important to the wrestler. It's more important to the wrestler because it means more money.
Well, not just that, but honestly, I think
not necessarily.
Think about it. A title that it is the man that makes the title. I mean, let's face it. Like when the Macho Man and those guys held the Intercontinental title, it was a big deal. Or my man Kurt Hennig. When those guys held the title, it was a big deal. But
so was it more important to you or more important to the wrestler? Was it more important to you, or was it more important to them?
I think that the titles for these guys, I think it means something to them because that means that by giving them any kind of championship, that means they're putting more faith in them than other guys. So I think it is important, especially for younger guys.
Honestly, Chris,
that's my opinion.
I think that the value of the title goes up for the fan as it goes up for the man that's holding it. the more that someone, the more that a competitor values their title, the more I get invested in it as a fan. A good case in point is Charlotte with the Women's Championship on Raw, I feel is a more prestigious title than Alexa Bliss with the Women's Championship on SmackDown.
Yeah.
All because of the way that Charlotte portrays the title and what it means to be that champion.
Can Charlotte get over without the
when
title?
He had the Intercontinental title.
Yes,
Yeah.
Charlotte can get over without the
get
title.
over without
Now,
the title.
can Alexa Bliss be over without that WWE Women's title from SmackDown?
I don't know because she's not over with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
As a heel, she is though. The people hate her.
That's what I'm saying. The heel. She's a good
over.
heel. I don't
She
necessarily.
is a good heel. She's
she
a good
is
heel.
over.
She is a good
She's
heel.
a great heel. I don't like her, but she's a great heel. Do you know who who is important? The titles is important to? Ryback.
Because he didn't get one. You know what?
I'll beat her all night.
What Mike said a while ago, there's some merit to it, but it's only, in my opinion, what I'm thinking of, Mike, when it comes to the pay scale, that's what it used to mean to them before they got guaranteed contracts. Used to, when you held a title, there's no guaranteed contract. You made more money as champion because they were coming to see you as champion. You were putting more seats at that point.
I still think that there's a championship bonus in most of the agreed to contracts. If you hold championship, you still get a little extra something. And I want to give you a good case. I want to give you guys a good case in point of how my theory actually works. The Hardcore Championship. When they made that piece of shit up and gave it to Mick Foley, the way that he talked about it, that championship was like gold. And they did the 24/7 deal, and oh my God, the thing was on fire. Everybody was wondering who's going to be the Hardcore champion. It was fucking genius.
I hated that.
And I think they got rid of it.
Holly.
I think they got rid of it because it has started to overshadow the more established titles like the Intercontinental Championship. Because the Hardcore title was becoming the thing everybody was wanting, man. They were buying the replicas. The fans were just engrossed in the whole Hardcore division, and then they had the 24/7 rule. It was freaking brilliant.
It was
real quick. I gotta get going.
Hey, whoa. Tim's got something to say before he has to go.
I gotta get going. See you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.
All right, see you, Jim.
Hi, Timmy. Later, babe. Anyway,
I never cared for the 24-hour rule. That got really bothersome.
No, are you kidding me?
Oh, man.
I never
Oh
liked
my
it.
God, that was
It
I
beautiful.
wasn't a fan.
It was
I wasn't
so
a fan of the
exciting.
Hardcore title either. I wasn't a fan of the title. To me, it was one of
man,
those
I
stupid
loved
titles,
it.
especially with the 24/7 rule. It was dumb. You could be walking in from the parking lot and get hit in the head with a crowbar, and you're down for a 1, 2, 3. It could have been anybody. Hornswoggle could have done it.
That's why it was brilliant.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that because it didn't always happen. Crash had the title for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Which was stupid.
Crash Holly. No, I
Which
thought it
was
was
stupid.
brilliant. Are you
Crash
kidding me?
Holly.
It was brilliant.
Hardcore Crash Holly. I mean, come on.
No, that was, dude, it was great.
All
dude,
175 pounds of him.
I know, it was beautiful. And he like escaped. Guys trying to get him, and then he got beat, and then he beat him again. Man, it's like the one thing that they're doing now. Who has the title? There's this one promotion where they were doing stupid things, like they're passing off the title. Like one guy was sleeping, and then they would bring a ref and tell him to be quiet, and then he'd be like 1, 2, 3, and like take the title, and it was good stuff. But anyway, here's the thing. I thought that the title was great. It had longevity, it had legs, and Mike is right. It overshadowed because people wanted to see what was going to happen, and that was a storyline that could have gone for even longer than it had. It was it was a fun title. It was fun. Isn't that what wrestling should be about to a certain degree? It was fun. It was a very interesting, and I thought it was brilliant. It just really was. I have to disagree.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one, just like we agree to disagree on Baron Corbin, probably, I think, at that point. We're going to have to just agree to disagree. So what else do we got on the board here today, guys? What do we got? What we got going next? We were talking Elimination Chamber a moment ago before Tim had to leave. I know he had to go. He brought that up. We know the main Elimination Chamber match. I believe they got Alexa Bliss is defending her belt against Naomi, and you got Natalya versus Nikki Bella. That's and the one thing that I really hate. I'm gonna agree from this too. I'm probably sure. This stupid tag team turmoil crap they always want to do. They want to throw 4 or 5 tag teams in the mix in one match. It looks like American Alpha prepares for tag team turmoil. It says I'm seeing the Usos, I'm seeing Slater and Rhino, I'm seeing Ascension, I'm seeing the Vaudevillains, and I'm seeing Breezango. Looks like they're all there ready to take on American Alpha for the titles. How many times could you have that same match with all the tag teams thrown in?
I hate it. I hate it with passion.
I do too. I mean,
and a lot of them are yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It cheapens the tag team division. It makes me feel like they don't think that they have 2 tag teams that are good enough to put on a good match.
I can't stand the gimmicks too. I love the Vaudevillains, but now they're gimmicky. The Ascension, gimmicky. Breezango, like, come on, really.
What the fuck is Breezango?
Yeah, which is funny, but it's forced. It's not. Those are 2 guys that can wrestle their asses off. And you got, like, especially fans of Tom Dango, you would think that they would take him already, do something different with him, because I really think he could get over with something different. He's a great wrestler. I love watching him wrestle. I just can't take him seriously. And that sucks. And then you have the American Alpha. Why do they have, like, these tights from the 80s, like early 90s? Like, I'm just like, really? You can't put them in anything else? I don't know. It's whatever,
I got something else for y'all to get y'all riled up for the show's over with, since we only got 18 minutes left. We talked about that Shane McMahon fighting Triple H possibility for WrestleMania. I saw something else tossed out there yesterday. Once again, rumor for anybody who's listening and wanting to strangle my neck for some reason. Rumor of a mixed,
I got 5.
Rumor, you got 5. We'll talk about that after the show. We got a mixed tag match. And I forget who the opponents were now, but on one side, you know who the mixed tag match on one side is going to be, right?
Yeah,
John
it's going to be Cena and Nikki versus...
Oh, against The Miz and Maurice. That's what it was.
Maurice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
No, that's a waste.
I would rather see them wrestle Ellsworth and Carmella.
I don't want to see a mixed tag match at all. I don't want to see it at all.
Yeah. I don't know if I hate anybody else worse than Carmella. I want to just...
No, I will say this. She has definitely got Ellsworth looking snazzy in that gold shirt.
Yeah, that guy, whatever.
But I want to know what their end game is, Chuck, with Carmella coming out wrestling the Carpenters, as Chris would call them, every week. Are they trying to build her up for a push? I mean, if so, is it off a cliff?
Yeah, I hope so. In a car, on fire.
With Ellsworth.
Yeah, with Ellsworth.
You guys give me grief for liking Nikki Bella. I mean, come on, this woman.
What?
Well, honestly, Chris, it's pretty sad when you look at it and you see that probably the number 1 total package diva on SmackDown is Nikki Bella. She can talk the best and wrestle the best combined. I'm not saying she's the best at either one of those individually, but when you put it together, I feel that she is the best that they have, which is really sad.
I agree.
It's like finding crap with the least amount of stink on it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is I've come to realize that is the truth, that she can wrestle. Begrudgingly, I must say that, by the way. You're absolutely right. When she's the best of the best. See, that's how you know the women's division in Raw is superior, like eon superior, because you have Well, Charlotte. I mean, you have Charlotte. She is the Ric Flair. Like, and this is what I want to say to people that are like, oh, that's because she's Ric Flair's daughter. So was David Flair. Okay.
Oh my
End
God.
of list. You know what I mean? So you have to have some talent. The way she brings that title, she brings it like Flair did. Only I think she brings it classier than Flair. And I just think it's elegant when she can wrestle her ass off. Then you have Sasha. Then you have Bayley. Like, it's just Nia Jax. And even the quote-unquote Carpenters are pretty damn exciting. Like Alicia Fox. Like, they can wrestle. They're like women. You got divas over on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Women.
Mm-hmm.
Divas.
See, to me, it's all a popularity contest. To me, it's a popularity contest because I like the ones on SmackDown better than the ones on Raw, except for the fact that Charlotte is the better champion of the two programs together. Because you're right about everything you say about Charlotte. It's not that she's Ric Flair's kid. It's the fact that she knows how to do it. She was brought up in a wrestling family. She's seen it over the years. She knows how to get the fans to hate her, just like Ric Flair did. She knows how to carry herself in the ring. She knows how to be obnoxious. And it's great.
Yeah, she has actual talent. And that's
right,
what KJ was.
She's very good athletically, too.
Right,
yeah.
but that's what KJ was alluding to. Flair's kid, because David Flair was also Ric Flair's kid, but David Flair didn't have any talent.
That's
Charlotte
what I'm
actually
saying.
has talent.
Right.
It's not something.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not something that you inherit. You don't inherit talent. You have to.
But you know what? You can't teach what she does. Like, you can build off of the talent she has. When she walks down that aisle with the robe and everything, she has a queen-like attitude. The way she carries herself is, I mean, that stuff you can't teach. You could try to teach it, but you got to work it, and she works it better than anybody. I really think. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, and you can't teach that.
Teach that, yeah. but I have to disagree with it's a popularity contest. I really do. If you let's put each person in the ring with okay, let's take Sasha versus Natty. Now, I believe Natty can out-wrestle Sasha, so that's okay, boom. But you also have Lana doesn't even wrestle. I would say Lana. But you have, let's put the champions together. You mean to tell me that Alexa Bliss can take out somebody like Charlotte?
No, but I do like Alexa Bliss, which is the popularity part I'm talking about. I like to watch her matches. I like to watch the way she does things. I like the way she draws heat as well. But they're two different shows, though. SmackDown and Raw, they're just two different shows.
But that's what KJ is trying to get you to do. He's trying to say, you know, what do you do when you pit them against each other? You've got Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. You've got Natty versus Nia Jax. You've got
there you go.
You've got Nikki Bella versus Sasha Banks. You've got Becky Lynch versus Bayley. Who's coming out on top in all that?
I still like the SmackDown roster better, though. That's why I say, to me, it feels like a popularity contest because, in my eyes, I like that group. I like that group better overall than the Raw group. Now, as far as champions go, Raw has the better champion in my eyes. I do believe that. I do like Natty over Nia Jax. I'm not saying she would beat her on a consistent basis, but as far as who I like to watch more, it's going to be Natalya over Nia Jax. I would rather watch Becky Lynch than I would Sasha Banks. I would rather watch.
What are you watching?
I would rather watch Mickie James over Bayley. I'm just saying, these are the ones I would rather see out there wrestling myself because I'm not a big fan, and I do like Bayley as a wrestler. I do. But if I'm gonna choose an overall roster that I base on like watching, I'm gonna pick that SmackDown roster for what they do there. Now, if I'm talking about the men's roster, I like the Raw's men roster better than the SmackDown men roster for the most part, but that's barely edging them out. That's not by much.
Well, KJ, we've learned
storylines and stuff.
We have learned something extremely valuable, KJ, that Chris has absolutely no taste in women's wrestling.
Don't be hating. Hold up.
Listen, he likes plucky versus like the professional.
What?
That's what he likes to have.
Yeah,
He likes
that's
that
what
plucky.
it is.
You know what I
That's
mean?
what he
They're
likes.
plucky and they're like the underdog. Because I don't like this.
What?
I found this out. I found this out the hard way. I don't like Becky Lynch. I want to like her. I can't like her.
Right.
Because she gets her ass handed to her. She's like, I'm a good wrestler, but I botch, which sometimes isn't her fault. The way she talks, regardless of accents, she's too goofy. I don't know. I want to like her. I can't like her.
Hey, guys, hold up.
Here we go.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen. The two newest members of the IWC, Mike Currents and Chuck Myers. Give them congratulations, everybody. Come on, everybody. Applaud. Cheers. Honestly, guys, come on. Give me a
Does anybody
break.
have crickets? Does anybody have the cricket thing? Anyone crickets?
Just because you two...
Tumbleweed?
No, there's no tumbleweed. Just because you two like one better does not mean that my choice is any worse off than what y'all are liking right now. It's a matter of what you have better taste for.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Chris,
I said
buddy.
that he likes what?
Chris, you're acting like the one cousin that when they're at the family reunion is trying to drink rat poison. Me and KJ, we're trying to save you. But you're just like, no, I'm going to drink this quick. It's nice and green.
Just because.
I don't feel too good.
No. Just because I'm not jumping on the I hate Roman Reigns bandwagon and the boring.
Which
boring.
I don't.
You got me saying boring now.
I haven't. Knock it off.
Baron Corbin.
I live in the gray. I live in the gray. Except for Baron Corbin.
Which one of y'all said boring Corbin earlier and got me saying it now? Was it you or Tim? I don't know. But one of y'all said
that was
it.
Tim. Tim
Anyway,
said it.
Baron
I say cardboard Corbin.
I think Baron Corbin has a future.
Say again?
SmackDown has better tag teams. Except for
What
the
about?
club. Except for the club.
New Day.
I ain't mentioning the garbage tag teams. That's the good tag teams, like the club.
Who?
What?
Come on, seriously.
Okay, listen.
We all have,
listen.
we
Are we talking
all
about
obviously have
SmackDown?
different tastes. We all always have different tastes in what we like.
Oh wait a minute. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the SmackDown tag team?
I think it's all around. I think we jumped so far across the board we can't keep up with where we're at right now.
I have no idea, and I blame you. I have no idea.
It's all your fault, Chris.
It's all my fault.
Well, no. I know whose fault it is, and
his name is John Cena.
that damn John Cena did it again.
And to think I thought I got rid of that. I didn't think Mike would be able to find it. You know, I knew it was there, but I just didn't think Mike. I didn't think Mike could see him.
I barely caught a glimpse.
Anyway, no. If we're talking about SmackDown tag teams, I think it's pretty sorry.
The SmackDown has one tag team.
Yeah,
the American Alpha.
Yeah, and they don't.
Now
have
you got to remember, as much as you hate them, the Usos are an actual tag team. As much as you hate
they're
them.
not. No, they're not. What have they done?
Yeah, they are.
What have they done in the last 4 months? Absolutely nothing. They're garbage.
Did we not discuss it? But did we discuss this earlier, though? Do the wrestlers get to judge or determine when they're pushed and when they're not and how they're pushed?
It's not even
I get that.
They had a large run there for the longest time, right? They had a really
because
long
they
run
were the only tag team. Just because you're the only one doesn't mean you're the best.
Listen, you're absolutely correct. I agree 110%. But I really think out of all the other tag teams, the one that could really do some damage is the Usos if they gave them a heel push. The problem is they don't. And the problem is I think they still don't even know what they're doing with their heel character. They're just kind of like bored. I feel like that's what it is. They're just bored.
I don't think they push the tag team
as.
division. Honestly, they don't really push the tag team division. Look what they're doing. You got a pay-per-view coming up, and you're throwing all your tag teams in one match. because you don't try to push the tag team division. They were so high on these fallen villain guys bringing them up, and they brought them up just to bury them real quick, just like they did the Ascension. They went the wrong direction with the Ascension, trying to push them off with the Legion of Doom wannabes. You know,
it was disgusting.
The Ascension was horrible.
It was a bad thing to do. Thing to do. But they're not really. They're just not pushing the tag team division at all. Now, I will say one thing with Raw. At least they're trying to push some tag team interest there when they had Cesaro and Mohawk guy Sheamus. I mean, I'm not really a fan of putting two people together, like I said 100 times over. But they're trying to make some kind of an interest in the tag division. They had the New Day. They got the Club. They got them two. You know, they're trying to make something out of it, it feels like sometimes. But SmackDown doesn't even push them at all. On SmackDowns every week, do you see a good tag team match out there? Do you see any kind of a big tag team build-up? The biggest tag team build-up you had was when the Wyatt family, with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, was temporarily holding those belts. And that was the biggest complaint I had was they were two individuals thrown together, and I didn't really like that too much. It wasn't a real tag team feel.
I am excited to see where the whole Luke Harper turning on Randy and Bray is going to go. That's an interesting storyline that I look forward to seeing unfold.
I think I have a theory for it, though. I have a theory, is that because Harper is so engrossed, and because Bray can tell him anything and brainwash him, that I'm going to hit you, I'm going to beat you up, and we're going to get Randy, and then they're going to turn on Randy. That's what I think is going to happen.
It could be. That would be an interesting twist, that it's all a work against Randy between the two of them.
Yeah. So think about it. I don't think Bray is that stupid to think that whatchamacallit, Randy Orton. That Randy Orton. No, he's not so stupid to think that Randy Orton isn't going to. This isn't a plan from Randy, because Randy's devious, but so is Bray. And I think Bray will always be 2 steps ahead of him until later on in life, I guess. So yeah.
So you mean like they're in a nursing home and one's like 90 and the other's like 86 and one of them Vern Gagne's the other one?
Yeah, well here's the thing. Well, Vern Gagne's dead.
Well, so is that poor German guy that he put through the coffee table at the nursing home.
Oh yeah. No, since I think Bray will have the upper hand, since Bray has learned how to use a rocking chair for almost his life. So
That's
he comes
true.
with a rocking chair. So he's good
That's
to go.
true.
There you go.
True. I also wanted to touch on something real quick. I think we're seeing the next step in the evolution of the New Day. If you didn't notice the whole spiel about the Rumble, how they figured, well, if one of us wins, all of us win. So are we going to see them acting more as a stable and less of a tag team now?
No, I think that was just for the Rumble.
Oh, okay.
To be quite honest. Because hopefully New Day doesn't get broken up. That's the rumor. That's always been the rumor.
I don't think it's going to. I don't think they're going to. It's a cash cow. They're selling too much videos. They're selling too many videos. They're selling too many unicorn horns. Those 3 guys are raking. They have to be raking in money like they've never raked in before. And if they're not, the next time their contracts come up for negotiation, they will be. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, no doubt. Because all 3 of them together are just magic. They all gel so well. It's not even funny.
There hasn't been something like this since, John Cena, before everybody mostly turned on him except for the women and the kids. This is almost they're almost Stone Cold-esque because they appeal to almost everybody except for grumpy old farts like Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, boo. Boo. Boo, Chris.
Boo, Chris, that grumpy old fart.
Not booty-os, but
because
boo.
The New Day, we all know that the New Day is
awesome!
I agree. New Day does
I will let you two have that under the understanding that we have like a minute and 10 seconds left, so I don't have time to even get a good argument in on it. So
Right.
that being said, we are down to in exactly a minute pretty much right now, so we got to go and start wrapping things up. Next week's Elimination Chamber, right? Next Sunday?
Yes, it is.
All right, so we'll have Elimination Chamber results to talk about next week, and we can fuss about that. On the better of the two shows, SmackDown pay-per-view, get that in real quick before we go. No, it should be kind of fun, though. The Elimination Chamber is kind of a fun match to watch. I don't know about the rest of the pay-per-view. It's not looking too good, if you ask me, but we'll see how it turns out. In the meantime, we got, Instagram. Check us out on Instagram, www.instagram.com/BodySlamTheCompetition. Same for Facebook, BodySlamTheCompetition. Screw Twitter, as always. We're not talking about them. And with that being said, we look forward to the pay-per-view next week and, of course, discussing that. So, guys, I will see you next week. It's been great. It's been fun. Chuck, it's been your privilege as always. Talk to you guys later.
Ciao.
Bye.